Manager, Vice President. She's going to speak to you in just a little bit here, but before we got started, I wanted to welcome up Kelly McCready from Lehigh Valley Riley Children's Hospital and Lehigh Valley Health Network. She's got a few words she's going to say to you. Kelly, thanks for being here today. We really appreciate it.
Of course. Hi, everyone. Again, my name is Kelly. I'm the Community Giving Manager at the Lehigh Valley Health Network with the Children's Hospital, and I'm so excited that you all are here. It's such a beautiful day to be here at the park, and you might not have known that while you're receiving this exclusive tour experience, you're also making a difference for Lehigh Valley Riley Children's Hospital. So we just want to say thank you on behalf of the hospital for everything that you all are doing to, make a difference through this fundraising. All of the ticket proceeds are going to the Children's Hospital, and that's something that, fundraising and philanthropy is so important to help provide exceptional care here in the local community with your local Children's Hospital. We're actually the third busiest, highest volume Children's Hospital in Pennsylvania, and your fundraising efforts are really going toward helping things like our emotional support of our patients and families, things that insurance doesn't cover, like our child life specialists and our social workers, and making sure that kids, families, their siblings receive that care for their emotional well-being, and allow them to just be kids and play and have things like toys and coloring books and all of those things. But also there's a lot of families who have financial hardships, and they might not be able to pay for things like transportation, lodging, meals, and philanthropy is so important to make sure that, no matter what the financial circumstances are, that we're also able to extend that hand and extend that support while they're going through maybe a challenging experience. But also another way that philanthropy and these dollars are just so impactful is, again, making sure that we're giving the best care close to home, so that families in our community don't have to travel hours away to another children's hospital, that we're making sure that we're having the best doctors, the best team, the best equipment to make sure that the best care is here in the Lehigh Valley. So we are just so appreciative of your all support and the fact that Dorney Park is putting on this event and thought of us to be the recipients of it. So I hope you enjoy your tour, but again, thank you so much for what you're doing, and hope you enjoy your day.
Kelly's a pro. Thank you so much for being here again, and we love partnering with LVHN. They are great partners both here and in the community, so thank you for that as well. And once again, thank you all. What am I? I'm up with the 5, I think. So anyway, we do have some exciting events for our Dorney Park Cares team this year, and I would just encourage you, if you don't already, follow us on social media, and anytime we have an event that you can contribute to or be a part of, I'll be sure to announce it. That's my job, and I love sharing that stuff with you guys and sharing our story. So once again, thank you for this. I'm going to welcome up our Vice President and General Manager, Jessica Naderman, now, and we're going to go through a little bit of a presentation for you about all the exciting things happening in 2024 and beyond. Jessica.
Thank you, Ryan. And like Ryan has said, we are really, want to extend our gratitude for you coming today and supporting our first ever winter chill out, as well as the Riley Children's Hospital. So I appreciate it so much. We're really excited for you guys to see what we've been doing here this off season, and I think it's going to be one for the record books here at Dorney Park. At the end of this presentation, we'll do a brief Q&A, so there will be some time for you guys to ask questions to both Ryan and myself. I'll do my best to be transparent and answer honestly. We're going to get some good curveballs, so you guys always keep me on my toes. I will say that. All right, so welcome to our first ever winter show out, and the sizzle video prior to this. As you can all
I think you should show that, because it's actually surprisingly accurate, because you never know with animation, but now looking at it, it's pretty close. Minus all the smoke.
Absolutely. And pollution, right? We're not about that. But we are thrilled about Iron Menace, and I am so excited for you all to get down to the site and actually get up close and personal with the ride. It's different when you're driving on Hamilton Avenue and you're kind of looking down at the ride. but when you're on the midway, it is right there. I mean, it is really impressive. You can get super close to the bottom of the drop. The Immelman is so dynamic, it looks fantastic on the midway. And it really changes when you turn the corner and you start walking towards that possessed midway area. I mean, it's just right in front of you. So I'm thrilled for you guys to see it. Most of you are familiar with all the elements here of this ride. I'd like to tell the story that originally, I think I was talking to Cliff Herring. I was doing an interview for Amusement Today.
Sounds right.
Yeah, I was doing an interview for Amusement Today, and he said, "What is your favorite feature on the ride?" And I was like, "The drop," because originally the 95-degree drop was not a part of the plan, and I had went to sleep in my Val Raven t-shirt and got up the next morning and had an email from Switzerland that said, "Hey, we were able to give you guys a 95-degree drop," and I was like, "Yes." And then of course, Ryan was like, "Hey, can you go to sleep in a Giga t-shirt?" And I'm like, "All right, come on, Terrell, give me a break." So I just want to say, I was sharing with other people, I think with Cliff, once again, so this will come out in an article, that we had several dive coaster options. We had one that was over 200 feet tall, and other people were like, "Oh, why did you do that?" The layout just wasn't as dynamic, and I thought for the options that we had, I think there were 3 total. This one was the most compelling from a ride experience standpoint. So obviously the Immelman and the Zero G roll, as I call it, flat spin. The tilted loop is fantastic. If you go down Lincoln, it just lines up perfectly with the ride. So B&M did a great job taking that particular space and really fitting it in. And I think it's great. I cannot wait to ride it. The guests are gonna love it. Yeah. So obviously POV, we're hoping this week to actually send our first train around. We originally had planned to do it tonight, but we had to delay, unfortunately, until sometime this week. So be on the lookout. We will send our first train through the entire circuit, and of course we don't want to get stopped into the carriers the first time, so we're being cautious. So sorry I couldn't get that for you today. And as you guys have seen in videos, the Zephyr is going to interact quite a lot with medics. It's gonna roll through the maintenance bay, which should be pretty exciting. Zephyr will come online probably around Memorial Day weekend, as we do that frequent the park. We're going to have to do some work to get the track repaired. Also, the construction, there's been a lot of track repair removed and vehicles moving in that area, so we're going to need some time to get the track back in place. But it should be a Memorial Day weekend. That's the plan. So these are our trains. We recently, it's not in this photo, have put a Iron Menace on the front of the very first car decal that looks really fantastic. Obviously, these are the newest trains from B&M. It was another reason why we wanted to buy this particular attraction. B&M has stated it's a 48-inch height requirement. However, we are waiting to announce that until we do future testing. We want to make sure that the dynamics of the ride are not too aggressive for a 6-year-old rider. 48 inches, the CPC charts are about 6. So we want to make sure that it's not too thrilling for them and before we announce it to the public. But I will let you guys know, hopefully that's the plan, is that we will come out with a 48-inch height requirement. They're just fantastic. That means a lot of people can experience Iron Menace. Anything else with the trains you want to talk about?
There are two seats for larger riders in the middle, row 2 and 3, and then you get 7 across and 2 trains.
Absolutely. I'm going to turn this over to Ryan because a lot of people want to know what it's like to name a roller coaster, and I'll tell you what, it's exhausting, and it's a process that the creative process. You throw anything at the wall. So there were several names for this ride.
I see Clayton back there too, he was a part of this. So one of the things that comes up is typically when you have a collaborative creative endeavor when you put a lot of creatives like in a think tank. We all think of things very differently, but we all get really passionate about one or two things, right? So it was really interesting to see once we got through this naming process. This was like the original list we got after folks were just kind of throwing names off the wall. And you don't really know if someone's being serious about a name or, so it's tough. You can't be like, that name is terrible, because someone could have really loved the name. I know for my department, and I had 2 seasonals last year. We really liked Flame Liquor, which is something I brought up during East Coaster. And there's a lot of like 80s hairband names. I will say none of them made like the final 7, top 5. But there's some great ones on there. Phantom of the Orbera was another favorite of mine. Live or Die, playing into 1776. Iron Riot sounded like like I said, 1980s hairband. It might actually be, yeah. So there's a Thrill Mill with, so there's a lot of Smelt City Express. Trying to read from the back. The Iron Urn, Hellbender, Helter Smelter was a good one. But ultimately, when it came down to it, I think we had 5 total. You take those through a copyright and trademark process. I think 2 were eliminated quickly. And the 3 I remember having were Iron Raven, Iron Menace, and Iron Inferno. Now, I can't speak for everybody, but I think for our team, we definitely felt like Menace was the best. And I think a lot of folks in Charlotte felt the same way, because when you start to incorporate the backstory and you start thinking about Hiram S. McTavish, and Clayton could really talk to this back there. When everybody waved at Clayton with the black hat, I was trying to hide. But Clayton's done so much with this story. We really appreciate Clayton. But I think that name connected the best. Not only with kind of that paranormal environment, but then also obviously iron and when you have iron and steel force right next to each other, right? It just, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to take the slam dunk, but that name certainly felt like a slam dunk. So that kind of gives you some insight in the naming process. This next slide, Jessica can kind of wrap it up. But I put together a little video for you guys. I've been doing a ton of video work for construction through our Menacing Minute feature series, as well as just in general. And our team's done great too, so not every video is shot by me. Some of it is cameras from our IT team, security guys, sitting around and seeing shipments roll in. Our maintenance team has been fantastic, really keeping me up to date, even our operations. They've been roaming around, really knowing stuff's happening. So this is kind of just like a quick overview. Some of the videos you guys like the most on social media. It's 1 minute, I'll let it play through. Plus you guys got to listen to the Menacing Minute music one time, because I've had to listen to it about 300 just the last month, so you get to struggle through it as well.
So thrilled, right? Ryan does such good work. We have a rock star here on our hands with Ryan Eldridge, and it does take a team. It does take a team, and he's got everyone working for him, so don't let it fool you.
That's true.
Yeah, and the photo with the train engaged on the left, I was like, that's a great photo. He's like, the maintenance guy's okay. And he's like, I got everyone helping me. I'm like, sure.
Eyes everywhere.
Eyes everywhere, and everyone. Nothing happens here without Ryan knowing. I think he knows before I do. So.
Me or Eric Mitchell.
Yeah. But I want to talk a little bit about the theming on the ride, the story, the backstory. We have Clayton here from XDS, our corporate office. He happens to be here because the team that is executing the thematic story, Kingdom Productions out of Cincinnati, Ohio, is driving today to be on site and to put the finishing touches on here. We have a smokestack. There's been a lot of conversation about the smokestack more than you would ever imagine. But it's pretty cool. I think that it's going to be really dynamic. It's going to elevate what Dorney Park does. Anything else you want to add, Clayton, about the thematic story? Without giving it all, I mean, we've got some things up our sleeves. I don't know if I want to give it all away, but I'll let Clayton come up and say a couple words.
Come on up.
Come on up.
He didn't know we'd do this to him, so
Yeah,
that's why we're all black. He was trying
Give
to
me a mic and I'll talk. So we super excited. My name is Clayton Lawrence. I'm with the Cedar Fair corporate team. We call ourselves XDS. It really stands for Experience Design and Creative Studio. We are super focused on location, regional-based story attractions now. That's something that Cedar Fair has been investing in over the last couple of years. So we couldn't just drop this coaster in and this amazing coaster in, and then that could have been the end of the journey. But we wanted to make sure that there's an audience and a segment of those who will never get on this ride, like my mom and a lot of people I know, some of my bosses even. And so we wanted to make sure that the full guest experience when you walk down the Midway is complete and that everyone gets to enjoy the immersive storytelling. So naming process is always tricky. I wanted to call it the Iron Beast, so we refer to the trains as the Iron Beast in our story. But it really starts with looking at the park, stories about the park, the region, what's happening in the area. They don't know this, but I pitched a trout coaster, trout-themed fish coaster. Because Dorney Park used to be a trout farm, but that got mixed right away. But we looked at what's happening in the local area, and one thing that kept popping up was the steel stacks. The Bethlehem Steel Factory area has been revitalized into museums and shops and dining and a new experience. And so we knew that with the type of coasters, so we got the coaster first, and that dive, it looked like a iron ladle dumping molten ore. And so that first drop, we're like, oh, that's a no-brainer, and then that ended up going into the teaser campaign. Our creative director at corporate, his name is Ken Parks. He comes from Knott's Berry Farm, so there's a Hiram Tavish tie there, Easter egg. But we just wrote a story on paper, and then we just keep telling the story through the design of the paint colors, through the design of the station, feature projects in stores. So. Really excited. This is really, we're making a big splash with our story coaster here at Dorney Park. So we have a couple projects this year specifically that centers around the story. Top Hill 2 at Cedar Point we're working on, and then over at both Camp Snoopy's at Knott's Berry Farm and Kings Island. So I'm really excited for you guys to see it all come together. The pieces and things are changing by the day, hour, minute, but we're really proud of what's happening, and you guys will see a lot of the story out in the field today. So yeah, there's my nickel pitch.
Sitting with me really well, especially as somebody who worked on the Beast. I'm a Beast girl, if you will, and that's kind of the attraction that I started on and came up on through the ranks. So it was near and dear to my heart. But there were some Beast truthers out there that were like, you can't use Beast. Anyways, I think we landed on a great name, so it's super exciting. Piggybacking on what Clayton said, it's not just about, and I think Cedar Fair has a really good approach right now as we're starting to put in attractions. It's not just about putting in the hardware. It's more. It's about the entire experience. It's about the dining. It's about comfort, comfortable places to sit. It's about merchandise. It's really bringing an area together to really create an immersive experience. So the Steel Yard is going to be the new area down there. Like I said, Dorney Park hasn't really leaned into this before, outside of Planet Snoopy, I'd say. But we are thrilled to actually bring an area to our park this year. And I'd say that looking at the Steelyard in general, that was a concept sign we're working on, so we hope to have a marquee as you get into the area. And Clayton and our marketing team, Ryan and Kristen Bartholomew, have been working with the Smithsonian, the Museum of Industry, that happens to be at Bethlehem. Yes, it happens to be at Bethlehem Steel Stacks, because they are donating a whole bunch of stuff from steel factories that are going to be put throughout the area. So when I say it's authentic, it is going to be authentic. It is actual steel manufacturing equipment. It's going to look incredible. Clayton has come up to visit and pick all sorts of things that he wants. It's going to be amazing. So I'm even more excited as we go into the haunt season, because once again, the Here McTavish story is a haunted story. So it's going to look fantastic when we light up these giant ladles and there's fog. It's going to be, it's going to really, really transcend the experience, I think. So Iron Mill Grill Bar is coming. It's formerly Chef's Grill or Dorney Grill. We sometimes have internal lingo, what we call things, and it may not be guest facing, so I'm sorry about not always saying the right name, but we are thrilled to bring in Iron Mill. And some of the feedback that we got from our guests was that there's not enough food variety here. So I don't know if anyone noticed when you walked in here, the Chickies and Pete's stuff has been taken down. We will keep our Chickies and Pete's, that's the original site, by Food Fest. We have one in the water park, but this is going to transform into Whitewater Tavern. So we will bring in new menu items. Kristen, we have what? Deep fried pickles in here, traditional wings.
Yeah, we have kind of more of a tavern type menu here. We got just burgers, French fries, fried pickles, traditional wings, things like that at this location.
Detroit style pizza. It's like a deep dish. So we will try to bring in more menu variety. Iron Mill Grill will definitely do that. We have flatbreads there. We're going to be serving pierogies. We want to lean into things that are local. Deep fried tasty cake. It's amazing. It's amazing. So make sure you get it. It's the home run, of course. Anything with funnel cake batter can't be too bad. Yep. And chicken sandwich there, which is really, really good. Pulled pork sandwich. Is there anything else that I'm missing that's like major? Pretzel and beer cheese. Pretzel bites and beer cheese.
Pretzels and beer cheese. We got a new signature chicken sandwich, a new kind of pork sandwich coming.
Yeah.
The flatbreads.
Yeah.
So a lot of variety.
Yeah, so trying to bring more variety to our dining plan and our meal plans here for our customers and guests. So there will be a bar. It may not be attached to this, but definitely, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but we have been working with our state legislators to change the alcohol license here at the park so that we can be viewed more like Wells Fargo Center or Citizens Bank Park where the Phillies play, where you can get a drink and go to your seat. We have a restaurant license, which made it really unusual for how people would use an amusement park. So that has changed. So you'll see our alcohol operations kind of change this year based on that. And it's easier. It's still our gifts. You guys will see it. It's been painted this week. It looks amazing. The inside is going to be themed. Like you can see the Steelyard look with the windows in the back. It looks incredible. It's a tight space, I'd say, but it's really gonna be nice. Empty buckets, that is moving along. You guys will get to see that when you're down there in the area. But I think it's great, fantastic name, really good redesign. It's gonna look amazing in the area. the opportunity to go through Ghost of the Machine, it is a Knox quality mix. It is like nothing on the East Coast, I promise. It's that well done. I remember, I'm very proud of Ghost of the Machine. It was one of those things that someone asked me last year, I was like, Ghost of the Machine? Ghost of the Machine. It's absolutely incredible. I remember walking in and going through the first time, and I was like, it's terrifying, and there's nobody in it, which is fantastic. And telling my boss, I'm like, it's great, it's incredible. Anyways, come on. We will have the house lights on down there for you guys today, if you guys want to go through and take photos. We won't have its schematic stuff going, but house lights for sure for you guys to check out. Thunderhawk, I know everyone's been getting some grief online, like, we haven't forgot about Thunderhawk. We're ready to.
Y'all are
But
just
yeah,
teeing me
you
up.
guys.
They're just teeing me up.
Yeah, they are. You guys will get the first peek at some of the things we're doing for Thunderhawk. I know Ryan has said that. We're also planning to do like a weekend event around Thunderhawk. More to come on that, but we will do it right. We'll celebrate its 100th anniversary. It's kind of cool to have Menace coming in and be the baby and the new ride and Thunderhawk next to it. But more to come on that, and I'm excited for you guys to go down there and take some photos. Control Booth is still forced, right after it forever, so I'm like, hey, we got a new amount of gates last year. New control system this year, so the chain was covered. I don't know if people recognize that, and you've seen it cycling here, but we're commissioning a new bar that's going to be up here by coasters on the midway that we're getting here on the red. Sugar Shack is getting an update, and it's going to be called the Sweet Spot. And we're really excited for that. We're going to move away from Wet Bob. I don't know if you guys met Bob, he was the one out at the cards this morning. Make sure you get your swag. I got mine. It's the first time that I've been able to buy it as well with all of you. But he said Wawa candy. He doesn't want it to be Wawa candy, so it's going to be novelty candy in there. A little bit different. Make sure you check it out this year. It's going to be great. Events. We have a lot of events coming. Opening day, May 10th. Which will be when the park officially opens. We do have some things up our sleeves, and we're trying to open it earlier, and we're going to come. And the season pass holders will get their exclusive rides first. We will be sending out information about that, but as soon as Menace is ready, we're going to try to open it. So we're not going to delay. It's good time. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it'll be before the
Oh, more to come. Yeah, more to come. Before the 10th. Oh, can you back? Yep. Obviously, you can see Water Park opening day. Summer nights, we'll talk about a little bit. Carnival is going away, but we are bringing in a new event. It'll happen on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and it's summer nights. Knott's has done this for a few years, but this is something that will be more tailored to our community. So it won't be exactly what Knott's Berry Farm does. Looking forward to it. We just hired an entertainment gentleman from New York City to help us with the event, to make it authentic, but it's going to be, we think, Caribbean influences, food, Latin influences. It should be really, really good. We're bringing a steel drum band this year to play in the water park with a reggae group. We'll have multiple stages for summer nights. It's gonna be amazing. So more to come on that. If you go to the next slide, we can talk about the food that's coming. So it'll be very Caribbean themed. So we're looking forward to that. And drinks, think of mojitos, rum, hurricanes, things of that nature you can really look through. I'm not going to read these to you guys, but these are some of the dishes that we have, that it should be really, really good food. And last slide. Yes. I think that's, there'll be more to come on summer nights. We're flushing it out still. It should be fantastic. Also, I did mention Tricks and Treats. We're getting Tricks and Treats this year for a day event. The Great Company Festival away, but Tricks and Treats will be definitely an upgrade. So, investment coming in to make that more of a immersive experience. And we will keep the assets that we have, obviously, at the Great Company Fest, but we're just going to add to it. So, it will actually move to the bottom part of the park. Tricks and Treats will utilize the stage down at the bottom of the park, and it will stretch from that stage area all the way to Steel Force. So, it's going to be a much larger footprint for the kids. All right. I just want to say thank you again so much. We'll open up for Q&A. I don't know how we're doing on time.
We're tight. We're tight.
He's like looked at me and pointed at my watch, and I'm like, oh, I need to speed up. But any questions you guys have?